I'm Dr. Brian Carr, and I'm running as a candidate for the member-at-large position for Lubbock Independent School District. This is a series of short video vignettes that I'm doing from my backyard. Kind of a beautiful day here on a Saturday before Easter. And I wanted to give this opportunity for you to hear directly from me about what I believe and what my platform would consist of. You know, I've lived in Lubbock all of my life, from Lubbock originally. 4 generations of my family have attended Lubbock Independent School District. But it's a different day from the one of my parents or even my own experience in Lubbock in the 60s and 70s. And so I have to say that we have to have a healthy respect for what are the changes, what is the type of student we have today. So I wanted to talk just a couple of minutes about the whole issue of how we encourage, how we mentor, and how we discipline students. Now, there's always going to be differences of opinion about education and how to educate and what to educate about. So part of the challenge is we have to work on our communication. That we can't always, I think, find universal agreement. In fact, I'd say in all my years of practice as a licensed psychologist that sometimes you realize that a good compromise means everybody doesn't get exactly what they want, but they get some of it. So my pledge to you, if elected to the school board, is that I want to be able to step up and say we want to talk about these issues as we try to find solutions. And so I think discipline is one of those things that what we don't want to do is wait till the barns burn to the ground and then try to figure out what to do. We don't want to manage by crisis. And so I think the way we start is we understand that relationships, I think, are how we can get discipline. And so early on, not waiting until we're into junior high or high school where there's all sorts of problems and we've got students that are out of control, but rather I think to start in elementary schools and to say that mentoring relationship. I think back to teachers that I had in the school system and I remember one in particular, my 5th grade teacher at Parsons was named Mrs. Shackles. And Mrs. Shackles was very consistent. She said, here's the rule every single time, and here's what's going to happen to you every single time that you don't follow that rule. And so I just remember thinking that she certainly seemed mean, when I was there all of 10 years old, 11 years old. But looking back on it now, I can see that she was just very considerate and knew us each very well, the students in her class, but there was no nonsense. And so I think that that's where we start. It's early on to develop those kind of relationships. And not one where we wait to where we're going to shame or try to humiliate students, but rather to call them up for the best. And so I think that's why we have to understand our students and what they're looking to get and who they connect with. And so here we have a school system where I'd like to think that we could develop a teacher faculty that students would feel like they connect with, that they understand these people and what they're going through. So that's a start. Now we do know that the current LISD is under an order from the Department of Justice at the federal level related to discriminatory patterns of minorities and students of color being more likely to be harshly disciplined than majority or Anglo. So I think this is something that we've got to be aware of, that we just, though I think to approach this and say we just need to kick people out, that we just need to get rid of them, or to say there's nothing we can do because this is a family problem. No, I think this is where, again, as a licensed psychologist, 32 years in practice, that what we need to do is partner with community resources, that we want to head up so that students feel like that they see older versions of themselves, so that we take these opportunities, particularly in our minority communities of color, to sit there and say, we want you involved with our students, with your students, to let them see that there's a model there that says you can achieve. So I think that that's going to call for a lot of energy to spend on the partnering aspect of it, so that people don't feel shut out. I mean, we want you in the schools. We want you to participate. I think some of this can be addressed by improving some of our meeting schedules and such. One complaint I've heard around the city is that people with kids in high school and junior high and elementary school, that they'll often have PTA or other school functions, and they're all on the same night at the same time. What an easy fix. I think we just reach out and say, let's just make sure that if you have kids in different schools, that you can attend all of those programs and be aware of what's going on. Then I think another step is to really help our teachers to feel like their guidance and their mentoring is essential to the success of their children. And this means, I think, providing greater counseling, mental health services in the school, so that the counselors, that we've got a counselor in every school every day and not on some sort of circuit rider program where they maybe touch base once or twice a week at a school. So I think we could do better there and give our counselors better services, better resources. So things like this, I think, are point to, if you want to have discipline, develop the relationship, and not just when kids are caught bad. My father is a pediatrician, talked about if you catch a kid being bad, you're going to end up with a bad kid because you've taught him how to be bad. So let's catch our kids being good. Let's find the ones that succeed. Let's hold them up as models for other students to see. And this is going to take some effort and some work, but I can do my part, and I hope that you'll reach out to me. I'm Dr. Brian Carr, and I'm running for your school board. Consider the vote for me. Thank you.